welcome to the Stahls TV Morning Show. I'm Courtney.
And one thing you can't accuse us of is not having fun.
That's for sure.
I'm Josh, and that was the SGIA show in Atlanta last week, and we're happy you got to watch that, and we thank Joe for capturing the video. We had an absolute blast at SGIA. I'm sorry you couldn't be there.
Yeah, I'm sad I missed it, but I know you guys had a lot of fun at the show. Obviously, It looks like it was a great time. We always love seeing the Heat Printing Brothers, or you guys perform songs at the show. So this one was a little bit different. It was actually a new song. We were excited to share it with all of our viewers here. What was your idea? Why did you create this song?
Well, the inspiration, and just so you know, most of these get created when I travel on a trip, usually a business trip. I'm sitting in the hotel room, and I'm like, man, we need another song for this year. And our chief marketing officer sort of pushes us. What's next? What's next? But anyways, the theme for this one was, of course, high temps, drop them down. And actually, the inspiration came from a blog post on Ted Stahls' blog where he said something to the effect of, the heat transfer market is so hot, but it's time to cool it down. And of course, it's a creative way to say that we're pressing stuff way too hot nowadays overall in the heat printing world, and it's causing a lot of real challenges for decorators. So we wanted to drive that point home that if your temp's high, you need to find products and solutions that will allow you to drop it to do a lot of these heat-sensitive fabrics.
Right. So with the heat-sensitive fabrics, is that what we're starting to see a lot more of the wearable trends moving toward? Is that what you were seeing at this show as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's across the board. So those of you that are in business decorating know that customers want, number one, they want performance wear.
Right.
And so, of course, that's no longer a trend. It's a mainstay. It's really just what's the latest style of performance wear that's the trend. But performance fabrics are heat sensitive, so that's a key category. And then it's even bigger than that. It's venturing into cotton style t-shirts now, whether it's a shirt that feels like cotton but it's really made of polyester performance fabric, or it could be that there's polyester or rayon content or bamboo content even into the construction of a fabric that now makes it heat sensitive in just a t-shirt.
Right, so we're seeing a lot of these types of tri-blends, right? I think that's what they're calling them, moving into the marketplace and really becoming a challenge for decorators.
Yeah, and one of the cool things about that, before we go too deep, I had an opportunity to sit down with Sean Lee of Sanmar, which Sanmar is a great partner of Stahls TV and a sponsor. But we sat down with Sean at the Educational Center there at the SGIA show, and I want to share a piece of that interview to talk about trends in the wearable market.
We created a technology that's in t-shirts, polos, and also shorts and some other athletic wear. And our trade name for it is called PosiCharge, and it's a cationic polyester that is specially made to help prevent dye migration and bleeding and things like that.
Okay, so the idea that if you address it from the garment standpoint, so it's the marriage of transfer to garment, if you can source a PosiCharged garment from Sanmar, basically, I'm sure it's not 100%, but it's pretty darn sure this stuff is not going to bleed, and you can use a lightweight finish on it and not have to worry about any special transfer.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, nothing's 100% guaranteed. But I think my mission and the mission at Sanmar is to, along with the help of Stahls, is to create products that help you avoid headaches. And so I call the whole PosiCharge collection, I call it Operation Headache Avoidance. Anything we can do to make your lives easier is what it's all about. And I think PosiCharge certainly comes through for that.
What else are you seeing? So that's a little bit in performance wear. What styles are hot? What fabrics are trending?
Yes, it's interesting that this whole conversation has started off talking about performance, because there's this big trend that's not only happening in our industry, but it's happening in retail right now as well. And it's this whole idea of performance wear not only being in the sporting goods market or you know, at a school or something like that, but if you look at what's going on in the real world out there, I call it the Lululemon effect, where women and men are wearing their performance gear straight from the gym right into the office. And so this whole movement is actually called athleisure, the combining of athletics into the leisure life. And if you look at what's going on at Sanmar, we have a lot of products dedicated to this athleisure movement, and it's you know, there's just a segment of the population that wants to be more casual and more comfortable variable, so it's finding the right products to address that look and feel. Just think about in your personal life when you're looking around what's going on. How many times do you see that lady walking through her everyday life wearing her stretch pants? It's just part of our everyday life, and the top goes along with that too, and that pretty much identifies that athleisure movement that we see.
Good, good. I think there's a lot of opportunity there. So as you're looking to approach small businesses and businesses in general and sell product, think about different ways to position. It's not necessarily your standard button-up placket. It's not necessarily your standard polo. Being able to offer trendy styles and companion pieces for men and women that hit on some of these trends can be a way to differentiate your bid from everybody else's. So talk to us a little bit about what is a tri-blend first off, and why should decorators want to look at a tri-blend?
Yeah, a tri-blend is a fabric that you see out there specifically in the fashion t-shirt world. And it's 3 types of fabric that are blended into one overall fabric. And if you feel a tri-blend shirt, the first thing that comes to mind is how soft it is. And so I think it's important to be in touch with tri-blends and to make sure that you're offering those to your customers as well. And usually there's 2 things that people want, the reason they want tri-blends. Number 1, because it's soft, and number 2, it provides that heathered look. And if you look at that heathered look, that's trending huge, whether it's similar to the shirt that I have on, or that tri-blend t-shirt, or in a sweatshirt. They want that heathered look in all of their wear now. So we offer polos, jackets, and traditional products as well.
Good, good. So we would encourage you, in addition to performance wear growing, tri-blends is definitely a growing segment you need to take a look at. Presents the same sort of risks as performance polyester in that it can scorch, but the one thing I'll say, Sanmar has a superior tri-blend because, if I'm correct, it's 12.5% rayon, which is a lot less likely to scorch than those that contain more rayon. So decorators are finding success using low temp transfers on the Sanmar tri-blends as a good marriage.
You are correct, yes.
So that was a fantastic time to interview Sean, and we have more footage from SGA that we'll share on future morning shows, but a couple really key things that came out of that interview. Number 1 is something we've shared before, and that is the technology behind their posi-charge garments in the performance market. So I don't want to skip past that one, although we won't spend a whole lot of time there, but just the idea that when you buy from Sanmar and you buy it posi-charged, you take one of the major risks out of the equation, and that is that garment going to bleed through my print. So of course you still need a low temp heat transfer solution, but if it's posi-charged, don't worry about any dye blocker. Just use a lightweight heat transfer film. It's not going to bleed.
Right.
That helps. Something else that we'll look forward to on probably next week's show is really highlighting this MyoGrid line of performance apparel. This isn't necessarily a Sanmar garment, but it goes along with that sort of trend, that athleisure, or
Right.
I think he called it the, what was it?
Lululemon effect.
The Lululemon effect,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so you'll see this MyoGrid line in depth next week, where Dave Wheatley walks you through it inside the walls of the trade show booth there. But let's dial in on tri-blends.
Right.
So tell us what you know about tri-blends.
The tri-blends, I've actually came in contact with them by accident. I was probably like a lot of the decorators that watch the show, where you start to print it with a transfer in maybe a class, or just for, I actually printed a shirt last Christmas for my sister.
Sure.
And whenever I pressed it, it looked just like a cotton tank top, but it actually had some rayon and polyester content in it, so it was scorching. So they're those little evil garments that are really hard to decorate, and you don't usually know about it until it's too late.
That's right, yeah, and I've been talking to a lot of the blank wearable suppliers at shows and just through email and phone calls, and these tri-blends, they're really surging, and I think they have been for some time. So there's really opportunities to print tri-blend fabrics. It's just a nicer feeling t-shirt, a little more durable because you have the poly content in there, and you get the really nice drape, whether that's for a junior's cut garment or a young men's or ladies garment. You get a really nice style and fit to these, but they pose challenges when decorating because of the rayon content or the poly content. So let's show you how to heat print some tri-blends. Do you want to show us at the heat press?
I'll grab these and go over there.
And then keep in mind, the Stahls TV morning show is interactive, so we are live here, although we've shown some previously recorded segments. If you have questions, feel free to type those in, and we'll stop at the end of the show and answer all of those questions. So we'll go over to Courtney at the heat press.
All right, so we're going to print 2 different tri-blend shirts with 2 different heat transfer options, although there's 3 available from Stahls, so you can have a low temperature solution. the key to printing these successfully, I think we've honed in a lot on this for performance wear and synthetics, but this is kind of following that same rule where it's, I guess, as Josh said in the song, high temps, drop it down.
That's right.
So we want to make sure to drop the heat press down to 280 degrees from 360 or 340 degrees. That's going to help to reduce any scorching that usually happens from a garment that has a high poly content or high rayon content, like a lot of these tri-blends do. Now, Sean had mentioned in the video, actually, that the tri-blends from Sanmar only have 12.5% rayon, so they are less likely to scorch at a higher heat, but there's a whole lot of these on the market today from places like Next Level, Boxercraft, so just using a low temperature transfer for all of these types of tri-blend or heathered garments is going to be a good solution. So I'll load my first tri-blend onto the heat press and just preheat as usual to get some of the moisture and wrinkles out, which you may notice a lot of moisture in some of these more tri-blend fabrics. From there, the heat transfer I'm going to be using for the first application is actually called CAD-CUT Premium Plus. The benefit of this, if you've seen this on performance wear, is that it has that low temperature solution. It's going to allow me to custom cut any graphic on my vinyl cutter, weed it, and then prepare it for the application. So this is a really great option for custom graphics, low quantities, and all of those. As a low temperature solution, you're looking at 280 degrees for 15 seconds for the application for this CAD-CUT Premium Plus. Once this application is complete, we'll give it a few seconds to cool down since it's more of a warm peel. Once that's complete, we'll have a completed design. This comes in a variety of colors, so you're not limited for different school designs or retail markets. Peel back this carrier. One other thing you're looking for, not only is this a low temperature solution, but all of the transfers when it comes to these very soft, pliable garments is you're going to want something that's soft hand. It feels very comfortable on the garment. So we're getting that with this Premium Plus. So it's matching the softness of these tri-blends, and that's why we're starting to see so much of the tri-blend garment trending in the marketplace. People want things that are soft, that fit comfortably, and so we're starting to see soft finishes being key, and this is a good vinyl or heat transfer material for doing that. So CAD-CUT Premium Plus gives me that option. We'll lay this off to the side. Then we'll load on our garment for our next application. I am just going to rotate this platen real quick since my design's a little bit larger than the 11-inch. Now for this application, CAD-CUT Premium Plus works great for those custom jobs whenever you're looking for more lower quantities or a solution for that, maybe a specific color. But I also want to talk about a solution if you're going to be printing large runs for maybe a school or a different organization where you're printing maybe 50 or 100 pieces. And this is actually a low temperature screen printed transfer called ElastiPrints. It's available from Transfer Express, and it also applies again at another low temperature. So 275 degrees, 15 seconds.
Yeah, and this one, just while you're preparing to press it down there, this one solved a variety of decorator issues at recent trade shows. I've had several decorators come to me now with scorched shirts that they bring in their backpack and say, why isn't this working? And usually the reason why is they're using just a standard screen printed transfers, which are tremendously popular for t-shirts, but they're pressing it at their normal 330, 360 application, and it's really leaving heat press boxes. But ElastiPrints, as we'll see here, solves that issue.
Right, so this was again another 275, 15 seconds, and it is a cold peel, so I'm just giving it a few seconds to cool down. You can do that here at the heat press. I could throw it off to the side and go back and peel them all later. Looks like it's pretty cool to the touch, so I'll peel that. And again, we're just getting another soft, complete finish. Helps to reduce any types of scorching or burning on these heathered fabrics. You're able to pick that up to see kind of, it looks different than you would at a normal 365 degrees, which was one of the big challenges that we saw a lot with these. Very soft and very pliable.
Yeah, the ElastiPrints, one of the nice thing is, because a lot of these garments are more form-fitting, you also get the stretch and recovery out of this as well as the Premium Plus. Now, just in general with tri-blends, I think, we've picked these two products because we see this being a little more popular than a full color graphic, right, because it's a t-shirt style and you typically want something that looks and feels like screen printing. So two great choices, ElastiPrints versus Premium Plus. Where would I use each?
Premium Plus I would use more or less for your lower quantities, so again that's where you're down 24 below 24 pieces, and then my screen printed transfers usually get more cost effective when you move towards the higher quantities, 25, 50, 75 pieces.
So the beauty of a screen printed transfer is I don't need to cut and weed, right?
Right, absolutely.
So if you have that sort of larger mid-quantity run, no need to waste your time cutting and weeding. You can order a screen printed transfer from Transfer Express, Elastaprints, and decorate these garments. Any questions coming in from the viewing audience right now, Joe?
Yeah, the one question is, what is the comparable print cut material that you would use for decorating these shirts?
You want to take that one?
Yeah, so actually I have a sample here. It's a small left chest graphic, but any of the Stahls Tech products, so Tech Opaque, Super Tech, Sublist Stop, and also the Foil Tech product, which has some metallic finishes, all of those are good low temperature solutions. Same principles apply. They apply below 300 degrees at 280, and they're also at a lower dwell time as well.
Yeah, and the red shirt that we actually pressed in the music video up front was Super Tech Sublist Stop, pressed at 280 degrees and 2 steps of 5 seconds. 5 seconds peel, cover, and apply. So those are great options, and they're available to you under the CAD prints line from Stahls or Transfer Express, where we print them for you, and you just have to heat press them down.
Right, and so just as a side note, they're a good solution for those kind of large multiple color designs. So we saw a lot of single color, 2 color, 3 color with these 2 applications, but when you get those jobs that they want these heathered garments or performance garments with a high color count, works perfect for that.
Great. All right, what else we have, Joe?
Someone is asking about the bamboo style shirt that's out as well. Do you have any kind of a heat transfer vinyl that would work with that?
Yeah, so while we haven't tested every single style and fabric content of garment that's out there, we find that our cotton poly adhesives work great on these tri-blends. They work great on bamboo. They really work great across the spectrum of basic fabrics. The only time you really get in a jam is when you start to enter in like coated fabrics like a nylon or a leather into the picture. Then you have some durability issues. But as always, when it's something out of the box, we recommend apply one, test it, run it through an independent wash cycle. But we feel pretty confident that any of our cotton poly adhesives, so whether it's fashion film, I'd recommend Premium Plus because then you get the low temp as well. That will work for you.
The question about the quantity break that Courtney was speaking about. The question is, does it also apply in a multicolor design, or does that number change when you get into a multicolor?
So I'll take a run at that. Basically, with screen printed transfers, the cost, of course, goes up as you add color. So, and it does for heat transfer film as well. What you typically find is that if it's a multicolor design, the breaking point actually reduces. So I would order, like say 25, 36 piece plus screen printed transfer in a multicolor design. And why is because with heat transfer film, I'm going to have not only 2 steps in cutting and weeding, but 2 steps in application. And with a screen printed transfer, it's very simple. It's place and press for 15 seconds. It doesn't get easier than that. So even if it costs a bit more, it's going to save you a ton, not only in labor costs, but in time, which is you can't really put a price on for a small business.
No other questions at this time.
No other questions. So tri-blends, jump on it. If your temp's high, then drop it. You're not going to bust out the dance for us?
I am not
All right.
today.
We
I think
tried,
they got
folks.
enough.
We'll have to take her to the next trade show. She didn't make SGIA, but I'm sure when we do a reproduction of this at ISS Long Beach and then ISS Atlantic City, Courtney will be there, so we'll figure out how to integrate her into the presentation. As always, we thank you for watching the Stahls TV Morning Show. Do you know what we're talking about next week?
We are. We're going to talk a lot about some production tips and setting up shop. So some ideas for getting your business, I guess, more effectively producing products and cutting cost.
Good, good. So we'll look forward to that. Thanks for attending the Stahls TV Morning Show, and have a fantastic week.